Hi, I'm John Wilson, winemaker at Round Pond Estate, and I'm here in the vineyard looking at suckering. So it is now late April. The vines have come out of dormancy. We have all this new green tissue coming out of their buds, and grapevines are opportunistic and they will grow many shoots. And it's our job as farmers to focus the vine's attention into the few shoots and the few positions that we want so that we get the right amount of growth and the right amount of fruitfulness. So what I've done here on this vine is I've removed any of the suckers that I don't think we're going to need and focused on keeping the shoots that are on the little spurs that we left at pruning. You can see all these guys down here on the floor. So next, we will come through and tuck the shoots through our training wires on the trellis. That'll happen in the next couple weeks. And around the end of May, we'll expect flowering. So if you look closely at these shoots, you see what look like mini grape clusters that are vertical, these guys. So those are actually flower buds. And each little grain or berry will bloom. Usually it happens in late May. And depending on the weather at that time of year and the vine nutrients, those flowers will turn into grapes. So we're excited to see 2 clusters per shoot on many of these shoots. That means we should get a good harvest, assuming that we have a successful bloom in late May. Okay, so going back, suckering is removing suckers. So what I consider a sucker is a shoot that I don't want. And vines, again, they will throw as many shoots as they can, and that's an evolutionary defense mechanism. So when we prune, for example, we cut away last year's wood, like this. This is last year's shoot. And this was cut away. And you can see at each node is a bud. And the bud is where the next vintage growth will come from. And at each bud, there are actually 3 potential shoots. And the reason why is that in their spring and early season, the shoots are very tender and they can be easily damaged, especially by frost, by cold weather. And so at each bud, you'll have a primary shoot that comes out first. That's the best one. It's the most fruitful. The chickens are happy or upset about what I'm saying. A secondary shoot and a tertiary shoot. And they're all spaced at about a 1-week interval. Our primary shoot comes out, but if there's frost and it's damaged by the frost, we can expect the secondary shoot to take over. Now it's late April and we're pretty confident that we're out of frost season, that in the mornings it will never get below freezing and we're good. So we want to remove those extra shoots, or now we're calling them suckers, because we don't need them. And they will just crowd our canopy space and sap the vine's energy, where we want the vine to focus its energy on developing those primary shoots and ripening grapes. So what I will do, going back also, suckers can pop out at random spots where I didn't even know there was a bud. I've got a sucker right here and here. I've got a sucker, I don't know if you can zoom in and see, but right here. So I'm just popping these off. And at this time of year, it's really easy with my bare hands to just pop them off. But as the season progresses, they will lignify the shoots. So they'll harden off and turn woody and develop a bark layer. And that's why you see that this is brown and has this bark that peels. Of course, now I can't do it. So the earlier in the season we can sucker, the easier it is, which is an important consideration because this takes a lot of time and we pay to do this by the hour. So it is a little bit strategic when we sucker. So I'm going to remove this. So I have my spur from pruning, and I try to leave 2 shoots per spur, and on each shoot I'm hoping to get 2 clusters. See those guys? But also while I'm doing this, I'm thinking about, well, how are these shoots going to space apart from one another? I don't want 2 shoots on top of each other and then a big blank space. So I will think strategically about that. This shoot, for example, is going straight across into all my other shoots over here. So I'll leave the one that's more vertical.